Welcome to this episode of How to Crush No Limit Hold'em games in the United States Casino. I'm June. Today we're visiting another local casino, the Allin's, and we're playing a 400 buy-in tournament and some cash games. And let's go fishing! Today we're starting our session with a $400 bought-in tournament, and there's quite a lot of people on the wait list, so we wait for around 1.5 hours and then we're on the table. The starting chips is 40,000 and the blinds are 10 and 1500, around 25 big blinds. And the first hand we're gonna share is under the gun player open raise to 35 and +2 calls. All folds to me. I got 3-5 of clubs on the big blind, and we have a great pot odds, so we choose to call to see a flop. Flop comes ace-10 for 2 clubs, so we have a gut shot and a flush draw. It's a very decent flop for us. I check to the raiser. He bets 5,500, +2, choose to call. Here we don't have any combos. We raise this flop, so we choose to call. Turn comes a 3 of spade. We pick up a bottom pair, but I don't think it's enough to win this pot. After I check under the gun player and +2 all checks. River comes a 8 of clubs, so we complete a flush. Here I definitely need to lease out to get some value. Opponent may have some pot pair with weak kicker, so I bet for around half of the pot. But very sadly, 2 opponents choose to fold. But we still take down the first pot of today. In the next hand, blinds are up to 1,000, 2,000, and everyone folds to me. I got pocket tens on small blind, and because big blind is a passive player, so I choose to open raise to 5k to build the pot. And big blind calls. Flop comes king jack 6 rainbow, so unfortunately we have 2 overcard. And obviously we don't have many variants to bet here, so I choose to check, and he also checks back. Turn comes a 7 of clubs, so a lot of draws are on the board now, so I bet 2,500 and opponent snap fold, but anyway we take down the pot again. And then we're entering a card dead period. We don't have any cards that's playable. We still manage to maintain our chips at slightly above the starting chips. And then the next hand the blinds are up again. It's 1,500, 2,500. We got around 19 big blinds. +1 player open raise to 6,000. I got pocket kings on middle position, and because there are 2 short stack player behind me having action, so I choose to trap here and call. Turns out hijack and big blind all calls. Flop comes 10, 5 deuce, 2 diamonds. Big blind check to +1, he bets 6,000, then I choose to call. And hijack player shoves all in and he covers everyone. Big blind and +1 folded. Here I don't think my kings can fold here. I choose to call because I still beat some 10x or flush draw in his range. After he shows hand, we see the bad news. He has pocket 5s and hit a set, and we only have backdoor flush or 2 kings. Turn comes a 4 of spade, and river comes a deuce of spade. Obviously a miracle did not happen and we're busted for this tournament. Although we busted for the tournament, but we still follow the tradition trying to get some money from the cash game. We bought in for 500 for a 3-5 game, and very soon I noticed a very eye-catching man. He's wearing a hat with a huge LV logo, and based on my experience, this kind of player is our target. And very soon we have an opportunity to play some hands with him. And this hand is I got 7, 8 of hearts on the hijack and I open raise to 20 bucks. An LV bro call on the small blind. Flop comes king 9 for 2 spades. He checked to us. Here we have a backdoor flush and backdoor straight. I bet for 20 bucks trying to win this pot, and he chooses to call. Turn comes a 10 of diamonds. He checked to us again. Here, although we have improved to a double-ended straight draw, but this 10 is actually hitting a lot of hands in his range that he calls a flop. So I decided to check back to realize my equity. The river comes the ace of clubs. He checks again. Although this ace didn't help me, but I think mostly live player has some problem that under defend this ace high board. So I decided to bet for 70 bucks trying to bluff him, and very luckily he didn't think for too long and choose to fold. So we successfully checked down the first pot of today. And then the next hand is also a very interesting hand. I got ace-9 offsuit on the hijack and I raised it to 20 bucks. Big blind and regular player choose to call. Flop comes jack 8-3 2 hearts. He checked to us. Here my ace high got some showdown value, so I decided to check back. And as we can see on the wizard, it would suggest to bet ace-9 offsuit with a heart. Without a heart, we will mostly choose to check. And turn comes a queen of spade. He bets for 25 bucks. And because I have picked up a gut shot and plus I have in position, so I choose to call. But now I think if we're not facing a particularly aggressive opponent, we got a lot of better combos to defend on this spot. For example, a weaker jack or some flop check back queen x or 8x combos. Here we can see how the wizard would suggest we got a lot of suited broadways can defend opponent's stab on the turn. So obviously ace-9 it could be a fold on turn. But I still choose to call anyway, and river comes a king of spades, and opponent bets for 75 bucks. But I actually think opponent's story does not make many sense, and I also got a 9 of spades that blocks straight and backdoor flush, so I decided to turn my hand into a bluff. I raised it to 220. And I believe opponent is a regular player who has the ability to fold some hand. And turns out after I raise, he almost shows because he thought I'm calling. But after he noticed that, he tanked for a while and still choose to fold finally. So we successfully scooped this pot. And we can still learn about how wizard will suggest the raising combo on the river. And obviously we can raise our backdoor flush for value. And we can have some bluffs with ace blocker, such as ace jack or ace queen with ace of spades. So perhaps I'm a little bit over aggressive on this hand. And then the next hand is low jack player, a very aggressive player, open raise to 20 bucks. I got ace queen of hearts on the big blind, and because equity realization of suited ace is not bad post flop, so I sometimes would choose to call. And after I call, flop comes ace ace 8 2 spade, a flop favoring the pre-flop raiser. After I check, he bets for 10 bucks. I choose to call. Turn comes a deuce of hearts. I check again, and this aggressive player still choose to bet for 45 bucks, and still it's an easy call for me. And river comes a 3 of spade, complete the frontal flush. I choose to check again. But very sadly, he did not bet for this time, and probably he's worried about my flush. After I show, I successfully take down this pot. And then a lot of people leave the table, so it's a 5-handed table. I got pocket aces on the hijack, also under the gun, and I raised it to 20 bucks. And I'm facing this aggressive player again. After he calls, we're heads up. Flop comes 6 deuce 3 rainbow. Facing this aggressive player, I choose to check and let him dance. And after I check, he didn't let me down and bets for 30 bucks. I choose to call. Turn comes the 8 of diamonds. I check again, and he bets 85 bucks. It's almost a pot size bet, and I got pocket aces, so I choose to call. River comes a jack of clubs. I check again, and this time he bets for 80 bucks. And now I'm debating between raising or calling. But I think it's very hard to call by words, so I decided to call. Also trying to see what combos he can bet 3 streets on the board like this. But he only says you win and mark his hand. Looks like a pure air bluff. In the next hand, we're still in a 5-handed situation, and the hijack aggressive player open raise to 20 bucks. Cut off the LV bro call. I got 2 5 of hearts. On the big blind, I choose to call to see a flop. Flop comes ace jack 5 rainbow. I check. Hijack player bets for 25 bucks. Cutoff folded. I got a backdoor flush, backdoor straight plus a bottom pair. I choose to call. Turn comes a queen of hearts. So I pick up a backdoor flush draw. I choose to check again. And he bets for 85 bucks, a very heavy bet. But I got great pot odds, so I choose to call and see what happens on the river. River comes a 9 of hearts, so I successfully got it. And this time I cannot check to let him easy to showdown. I decided to bet for 200 bucks, trying to get some value from his ace. And he think for a while and then choose to call. After I show, he nod his hand and I successfully take down this pot and get the maximum value. In the next handed, we are 6-handed. I got ace queen offsuit under the gun and raise it to 20 bucks. And my friend Tim and small blind LV bro choose to call. Flop comes 5-5-7 rainbow. Small blind check to me. Here in a multi-way, I got some showdown value, so I decided to check. Bottom player also check. Turn comes a deuce of spade. Small blind check, it didn't change too much, so I still choose to check. And bottom player also checks. River comes an ace of hearts, so I hit a top pair. Small blind check again and I bet for 30 bucks, trying to get some value from a weaker ace. But to my surprise, my friend Tim on the bottom raised it to 125. Small blind folded. Here I'm really confused. On the one hand, I don't think his 5x or pocket 7 pocket deuces would check back 2 streets continuously. Otherwise, it's very missing value. On this situation, I cannot think of any value combos, but also I cannot think of a bluff combos. I cannot think for a reason to risk this board facing me as a pre-flop raiser. So it's a very confused situation. And you can also pause for a while trying to think what hands he may have. And eventually I decided to learn and call to see his hands. And after I call, I saw the bad news. He has ace king offsuit. And to my surprise, he didn't 3-bet me pre-flop. Probably he knows a lot about me. He knows my range under the gun is tighter. Anyway, nice hand, Tim. And then the last hand we're gonna share today is a 5-handed spot, and pre-flop raiser is a bottom player. He raised it to 15 bucks. I got pocket 7s on the small blind and I choose to 3-bet him to 60 bucks and he calls. Flop comes a dream spot 3-4-7, so I hit a top set and I decided to continuous bet for 65 bucks. And now I think it's a bit too small because we have very deep behind. He chooses to call anyway. Turn comes a king of clubs, and this card is not good because a lot of middle pair in his range will stop paying me. And I choose to bet for 180. Now I think it's a very bad move because he folded right away. Perhaps if I can start it over, I would choose to check raise. Perhaps I would get more value in that way. Anyway, I still take down the last pot of today. Overall today, very sadly, we busted another bullet of tournament today, but anyway, we win back some money from the cash game. We faced on some unbalanced player and trying to exploit them. And overall today, I busted a tournament 400 buy-in, but I win around 700 or 800 from the cash game. So it's a very satisfying result as well. And you can see this is a real casino. So this is before the WSOP tournament will hold. But nowadays we don't know why, but there isn't even any cash game there. That's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next week.
That is your chance to be ruthless.